Hey guys, have you ever wondered why Dr. Brown specifically chose a DeLorean as his time machine in Back to the Future? And what does the speed of 88 miles per hour mean for time travel? In today's video, we're going to unravel these mysteries and dive into theories and curiosities that have made this car iconic in pop culture. Get ready to discover fascinating details and understand why the DeLorean has become such a defining cultural symbol. Let's go together. But first, to start us off, you already know. Comment below if you believe there should be a reboot of Back to the Future. That is, start from scratch, or a Back to the Future 4 with the original actors, since they are alive and Christopher Lloyd said he would make a new movie. Or better yet, don't mess with what is perfect, right? Comment below. I love talking to you. We're going to split this video into two parts. Number one, why did Dr. Brown choose a DeLorean as his time machine in Back to the Future? Number two, why did the DeLorean have to go 88 miles per hour to achieve time travel? Let's get started. Back to the future, back to the future, back to the future, back to the future, back to the future. From Dr. Brown selected a DeLorean as his time machine in Back to the Future. The 1985 cult classic, directed by Robert Zemeckis, elevated the DeLorean DMC-12 to iconic status, bringing a deep sense of nostalgia and making it a rare collector's item. Within the Back to the Future franchise, the plutonium-powered DeLorean time machine is Dr. Brown's greatest invention. He demonstrates this creation to his friend Marty McFly, played by Michael J. Fox, at the Twin Pines Mall, sending his dog Einstein 1 minute into the future. To understand why Dr. Brown chose a DeLorean DMC-12 sports car as his time machine, we must analyze how the idea came about. On November 5th, 1985, Dr. Emmett Brown was in his bathroom hanging a clock, as he was a large collector of clocks and was interested in time travel research, timing them perfectly for observation purposes. However, because the porcelain was wet, Doctor slipped and fell, hitting his head on the sink. This accident led to a vision of the flux capacitor, which he sketched in a preliminary diagram used to complete the capacitor in 1985. Next, the Doctor adapted the flux capacitor to the DeLorean DMC, and based on his calculations, the car needed 1.21 gigawatts of power and a speed of 88 miles per hour to travel through time. In the first test of the machine, the engine was revved up to 65 miles per hour while braking, sending the car flying in the direction of the Doctor and Marty. The vehicle emitted an electrical current similar to that of a Tesla coil and disappeared just before hitting the two, leaving trails of fire caused by the temporal displacement. When Marty asked him why he chose a DeLorean, Doc explained that if he was going to build a time machine, he needed to do it in style. In addition, he mentioned that the DeLorean's stainless steel construction made it easier to travel in time, making time travel possible in the Back to the Future films. Doc didn't go into further detail because his timer beeped, indicating that the DeLorean would return with Einstein in seconds. Of course, the fiberglass construction of the DeLorean, covered by stainless steel panels, was one of the reasons for the choice. The vehicle's unusual styling and aesthetics were key in Doc's decision, especially when the test was a success with Einstein's safe return and an intact DeLorean. Another reason for choosing the DeLorean was that Zemeckis initially envisioned the machine as a pickup truck or refrigerator powered by a car. When the creators decided to use a DeLorean as a time machine, co-writer Bob Gale opted for this vehicle, believing it matched Dr. Brown's eccentric nature. To achieve the required speed of 88 miles per hour, Doc and Marty decided to push the DeLorean with a steam locomotive, replacing its wheels with a set adapted to the train tracks. The legacy of Back to the Future doesn't just depend on the chemistry between Doc Brown and Marty, but also on the DeLorean time machine, which has become a cultural icon referenced in several films and video games. like in Spielberg's Ready Player One, where Parzival uses it to win the race within the oasis before it's destroyed by Mega Godzilla. So, did you like the explanation? Got any other explanations? Anything you want to add? Drop a comment below. So, did you like the explanation? Anything you want to add? Drop a comment below. Why did the DeLorean have to go 88 miles per hour to travel back in time and back to the future? Dr. Brown's DeLorean in Back to the Future needed to reach exactly 88 miles per hour to time travel. But what's the significance of this number? Simple mathematics could provide a plausible scientific explanation of how Doc Brown got to this number, which is etched in the minds of sci-fi fans all over the world. Furthermore, there's a simpler, no math needed explanation of why the producers of Back to the Future picked this number. Back to the Future made the concept of time travel popular in 1985, using a formula that blends physics theory with entertainment, making a movie that's both accessible and extremely fun, which still sparks discussions among fans almost 40 years later. The sci-fi classic tells the story of a teenager, Marty McFly, who accidentally travels back to 1955 and needs the help of the eccentric scientist Dr. Emmett Brown to return to the future.
To achieve this, Dr.
Brown invents the flux capacitor and connects it to a DeLorean along with several other devices, thus creating a more effective practical time machine. Although traveling to the future is a simple possibility,
Doc, it's going to be a long drive to the Valley of Hell. We're still going to stick to the plan. This is for all of us.
the DeLorean can achieve this thanks to the flux capacitor. A common theory about backward time travel involves sending an object like the DeLorean through a traversable wormhole.
Doctor?
Brown's flux capacitor, which he says makes time travel possible, can open this wormhole for a limited time when the car reaches a certain speed. So then, Doc might have calculated the speed of 88 miles per hour based on the speed required for the DeLorean to travel through the wormhole while it's open. To calculate the DeLorean's speed in relation to the wormhole stability and how long it stays open, you have to consider the length of the DeLorean, which is 4,216 meters. Doc needs to figure out how long it would take the car to travel that distance. Now, let's say the wormhole is open for 0.0072 seconds. And Doc knows this. He could divide the length of the car by 0.0072, which comes out to 39.33 meters per second or 88 miles per hour. Setting the flux capacitor to open the wormhole at a different speed could cause the hole to collapse on the car, slicing it in half or losing the wormhole altogether. One theory suggests that Doc chose the 0.0072 second interval to make sure that after traveling back in time, the DeLorean would arrive at its destination in the same physical space from where it departed.